Now it's my great pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker, Mr. Bruce Grewcock. You'll find a full bio sketch for Bruce in today's program, but in brief, Bruce is Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Keynote, one of the largest construction and engineering companies in the United States. Bruce is also a proud alumnus of Mines and our mining engineering department. Where's the mining engineers? On a per capita basis, that was pretty good, I guess. I don't know, we should give Allison, Marie, and Paul over there a chance to do it one more time. So, Bruce is a proud alumnus of Mines in our mining engineering department. Even better, good, excellent. Bruce joined Keynote in 1982 as a chief engineer at Black Butte Mine in Wyoming and was quickly promoted to vice president and operations manager, followed by president of Keynote Mining Group, election to their board of directors, and in 2000, Bruce became president and chief operating officer. He assumed the role of chief executive officer in 2005, becoming only the 7th executive to lead the company, which traces its roots back to almost about the same time that Mines was founded. Bruce is a visionary and has for many years been a valued advisor to Mines. He challenges us to aspire to greatness and also supports the efforts needed to achieve that goal. For example, his family established a scholarship fund to support out-of-state students, and they also provide the lead gift that enabled us to establish Mines' world-leading center for underground construction and tunneling. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Bruce Grewcock to the podium.
Thank you, Paul, and actually a little nervous after following that fantastic speech by Sarah, but I will do my best. Very, very great words there. But thank you, President Johnson and the Board of Trustees, for inviting me to this. It's quite an honor, and also add my welcome to all the graduates and the friends and family that are here. This is a special day, and I actually do have a remembrance of the day I graduated as well. And when President Johnson called me, or scheduled a call with me, I logically assumed he was looking for another donation from me to the Mines Fund. Now, Mines Fund is something I've contributed to before and plan to contribute in the future, and I urge all of you to contribute as well. You are graduating from a unique and special place, and it deserves your support. But when he asked me to deliver this address, quite frankly, I was taken aback. Now, in my role at Keynote, I speak to many groups, large and small. So it's not really the fear of public speaking, but what could I possibly say that could resonate with this group of graduates? Now, after all, it seems that many commencement speakers tend to be celebrities or politicians of some sort, and many of them, in my opinion, kind of espousing some well-worn cliches. I'm just a Mines guy. I'm just a Mines guy and who life has treated pretty darn well. I was blessed with great parents, great wife, 2 boys, some grandchildren, and a professional career that has been richly, richly rewarding for me. Fortunately, in the last 10 to 15 years, I've gotten reconnected with Mines and have rediscovered how truly unique this place is. Now, when I was an undergraduate in the 70s, I'm sure I had many of the same thoughts of you. Wow, this is hard, demanding, it's challenging, and will I be glad to get the hell out of this place? The good news is, for most Mines graduates, that feeling will pass quickly and be replaced by a sense of great pride in being a Mines graduate. Now, when I was at Mines, the world was a very different place. It was shortly after the upheaval of the Vietnam War. As a matter of fact, ROTC was mandatory my freshman year. We experienced the first oil shock from OPEC, and year-long daylight savings time was thought to be the solution to the energy crisis. And the United States was coming to grips with all sorts of industrial pollution issues. Now, the education I received at the time was grounded in the fundamentals of math and science, but was still largely focused on the traditional earth sciences. Now, we studied hard. Back then, we had to have almost 150 semester hours to graduate. We played hard, in an environment of almost all guys and just a handful of women. I particularly enjoyed E-Days of 1974, the 100-year anniversary of the school. And a replica of an old mining town was set up out on here on what I called Stratton Commons. I guess it's still called that. They set up a replica of an old mining town during E-Days, complete with a saloon. Certainly kind of a different time then. We had a good few days there, as I recall. But the minds of today is a far, far better place. If only for the 30+% women that are here. STEM education in this country needs more women to tackle the energy and environmental issues. And to think about essentially, at that time, excluding 1/2 of the population made no sense in my time. So I'm pleased to see all the women who are becoming Mines graduates. And I'm also pleased that the school maintains its sharp focus on math and science, but importantly, has expanded its reach into the other engineering and science disciplines. Mines, in my humble opinion, is the go-to place in the world for tackling the issues of earth, energy, and the environment. No place I am aware of is preparing undergraduates and graduates or doing the necessary research to ensure that we continue to raise the standard of living in the world and solve some of society's most pressing challenges. I have said it already and will again. Mines is a unique and an important place. And as you graduate, you will soon grow to appreciate being a part of this. Now, no decent commencement address ends without some advice for the graduates. So I guess this is my opportunity to pontificate a little bit, and those who work in my company know that I like to pontificate, but I will promise to be short and sweet. First thought, as you join the workplace and move into the next phase of your life, go forward with a big dose of humility. A big dose of humility about who you are and what you've learned. You will be put into situations surrounded by peers or your boss that may have, or probably will have, more experience, or God forbid, actually be smarter than you. Be humble and learn from them. Ask lots of questions. Listen closely to the answers and challenge if need be. In my experience, older folks are more than happy to pass on the lessons that they've learned. Now, you will also be thrust into situations where you are the smartest person in the room. As society tackles the complex problems of energy and environment, you will be called upon to use your technical knowledge to help government regulators, politicians, and members of the general public make informed, logical decisions based upon good scientific and engineering principles. These folks will mostly be well educated, but lack the expertise that you have. Being humble and acting with humility will serve you well if you get into these type of situations. Additionally, being humble is a key trait of great leaders. Become that person that people are eager to work for and with, because they see that you value their input. The humble leader model is the best one that I've ever seen. The next piece of advice, and this is crazily obvious: work hard and work smart. Now, you all have the work hard part down. You figure that out, or you wouldn't be here today. And as old-fashioned as it sounds, I have not found a single piece of better advice. It rewards you both professionally and, perhaps important to you, financially as well. Complex, difficult problems often get solved by just putting in the effort and grinding away to get to the right solution. Eureka moments are few and far between. Now, that being said, I will also add Work smart. Work smart as well as work hard. By smart, I mean two things. First, focus on what's important to get done. Too often people focus on what's easy or familiar to them, and they put off the difficult stuff for later. And I know what's important changes over time, weekly, monthly, yearly. So keep asking yourself, am I working on the important stuff? Am I working on the important tasks, things that will make a difference? In my experience, somehow that easy stuff, it takes care of itself somehow. And too many of to-do lists are filled with easy tasks that you can just check off, well, look what I got done today. The important stuff all too often is too easy to put off. And secondly, working smart means working on things you can control or have an influence on. Now in my business, the construction business, often our folks will complain about the weather or something negative that happened a few months ago. I can't control the weather, and believe me, if I could have, we'd be outside today. But I can't control the weather, and I can't change history. So focus on things that you can influence in the future. Focus on things you can make an impact on. So work hard and work smart. My last piece of advice. Be curious. Develop a habit of being intellectually curious. Ask why a lot. Remember, if you ask why 5 times in a row, you'll get to the real root cause of a problem. Wonder how things work. The notion of being a lifelong learner is sound advice. Don't limit yourself to your field of study. I encourage you to broaden your perspective. Some of the least interesting people I've met, and with all due respect, and certainly excluding the Mines faculty, are university professors who often just have a deep understanding of one single topic. I don't find them really very interesting, with the exception of the Mines faculty. The saying, "to a man with a hammer, many things look like nails," capture, I think, the concept well if you think about it. I encourage you to seek out alternative points of view, however painful that might be. Learn how the world works and what makes people behave good or bad, and understand why they do what they do. Look for opportunities to meet and hopefully converse with interesting people. You will be amazed how that energizes you. And one of the other best pieces of advice I ever received was to read widely. And today, it's so easy with the internet and to get access to books and magazines and articles and newspapers from all around the world. Now, because it is so easy to get access, it can be a bit overwhelming, no doubt. But I've developed a habit of kind of just skimming headlines. And I kind of have a habit early in the morning and skimming headlines through a number of publications that I look at. I'm looking for things that might affect my business or my personal life, things that could be an opportunity or maybe a threat. Now, currently, I'm quite interested in artificial intelligence, or AI. And I've challenged Keynote to be the dominant data-driven company in our industry. Now, admittedly, my industry has been a laggard in adopting digital technology to improve outcomes. Now, we at Keynote, though, I believe we are leaders. Leaders in regard to using data to drive decision-making, and believe me, largely driven by our young folks in our company. And we generate lots and lots of data about our projects. The potential for AI to ensure more predictable outcomes is enormous. And we've actually developed one predictive algorithm we've already done that's yielding significant benefits to us. But I'm sure that if I wasn't curious enough to learn about AI and understand what it is and what the potential was, and then push the organization along, we would be missing out on some fantastic opportunities. So let me wrap up. 3 pieces of advice that have served me very well. Enter the next phase of life with a good dose of humility and become the humble leader, the person people want to be around, that they want to work with and for. Next, work hard and work smart. You know how to work hard. Now just add the smart part. Focus on the important things that you can control or influence. Thirdly, be curious about what makes the world work and why people do what they do. Broaden your perspective beyond differential equations and thermodynamics. It will serve you well in the workplace and probably make you a more interesting person. And lastly, and I know I repeat myself here, Mines is truly a unique and special place. And you are now joining, in effect, a very special club. You're a Mines graduate. Believe me, people around the world, and I've traveled around the world, they all know about this place. And when they find out you're a Mines graduate, they're going to say something like, "Oh, wow, that's a great school. Boy, it was tough." And you'll probably look at them, smile, and just kind of nod your head. I feel so privileged to be a part of this club, and I hope you are too. Congratulations to all of you, and good luck. Thank you.